Welcome to Hockey Inside Out. Once again, we have Mr. Georges Laraque with us in studio. George, thanks so much for joining us.
Welcome.
Okay, George, you were known as a fighter in the NHL. What would you say was your other best talent on the ice?
Actually, I was known for being really good protecting the puck down low. What's really important when you play is that the fourth liner, they don't spend time in your zone, but in the other zone. And often at the puck down the corner behind the net of the other team, tiring up their defensemen. And that was my big body, big asset that we've had. And every team that I played on, over the years, I got known a lot for that.
Okay. What was your fondest memory of playing in the National Hockey League?
Oh, my NHL hat trick in 2000. You know, when you're a tough guy, I've dreamed of having a hat trick, and I've only had one in playing Nintendo or PlayStation. Mm-hmm. But when I actually had a real hat trick in Edmonton, and not an empty netter too, like against LA 3 goals, and the fight also that game, it was amazing, and I'll never forget that moment. I still have the pucks and the hats from that moment, and it was unreal. People were crying in the stand. It was so emotional. With that win, we were on top of the division at the same time. It was an important win. It was unreal.
Awesome.
Loved it.
That's awesome. George, if there's one thing about the Canadiens that you could change today, what would it be?
One thing about the Canadiens. I would, if I was a GM, I would improve their top six forward. I know we've talked about it for 4 years. People are probably so sick of listening to it, but I truly think that if that team, if Carey Price not hurt, they can win the Stanley Cup this year. They just need 1 or 2 players up front for the top 6 forward. It's awesome what they're doing with plumbers that are playing in all situations, but I would do everything to get help up front, and I would sacrifice some of the prospects that don't do anything for us anyway, a draft pick, and even Brendan Gallagher.
Oh yeah, can you see them shopping Brendan Gallagher around? You mentioned in the show that maybe Andrew Shaw took his place.
Yeah, I think he has, and he's the only guy that really has true values to be able to get something we want. So, you know, Gallagher, Sergachev, a draft pick, you could get a real top 3. Yeah. You have a real top 3 in that team right now for the offense with Radulov, Galchenyuk, Pacioretty, and all the guys. It'll be amazing.
Do you think the team is deep enough, though, with their current roster to win the Cup?
No. I think they're going to come out of the East.
Okay.
But to win the Cup, you know, with the wear and tear it's going to take because they're a small team and everything, they'll have no juice once they're at the Stanley Cup final. But I think with Price healthy, they'll come out of the East.
Okay. Do you think fighting will always be a part of the NHL?
The only way fighting will come out of the NHL is if the NHL abolish it. Because if you look at last year's the numbers compared to this year, it has plateaued. It doesn't go down anymore. Like, it reached a point where the fighting that there was last year hasn't gone down this year. It's the same level as last year. So you see stars, you see all type of different guys fighting now. But, you know, it's a physical game. So as long as fighting is allowed, fire of action, emotion sometimes climbs up and people fight. So, no, it's... maybe the league thought it was going to go down more and more, but it hasn't. It's the exact same numbers as last year, so it'll never go lower than it is now until the league says fighting is gone.
Okay. George, thanks so much for joining us again in studio. Go to hockeyinsideout.com now.